Regarding enterprise resource planning for software selection consultant services. And
Mr. Chairman, you want to first get a motion on the table to allow Ms. Daly to participate remotely?
oh yes, sorry, Linda. Can I get a motion to allow Linda to participate by the phone? Kate? Thank you, Betty. All those in favor, please state aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, welcome, Linda.
Thank you. Please talk into the microphone.
Okay, I will. Is that better?
Yes, thanks.
I'll scoot closer to you too. Okay, so I need a motion to put the resolution on the floor, please. Thank you, Junior. And second, Kate, did I see her? Kate.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to summarize this, and then if there's anything that I miss or needs elaboration on, or a question that I am not able to answer, Mark Little, our Chief Information Officer, will be here to back me up. This is an item where we are recommending the approval to award a contract for an enterprise resource planning software selection consulting agreement, which I know sounds like a mouthful. I'm going to shorten enterprise resource planning to ERP. And what ERP is going to do is replace several legacy software systems that we have that include our finance system, which included in that is budget, general ledger, banking, accounts receivable, and accounts payable, plus our chart of accounts. It includes human resources components such as ties to our job applicant center and keeping track of all of our team members within a software system. It also includes the ability to track disciplinary functions. It includes purchasing and fixed assets. And then for our case, we'll also be looking at a time and attendance component as well. Today, most of all of those systems are really divided into three legacy software platforms that we have. This project is a project we've been planning for a number of years, and we've been saving money for it. So there is money allocated in the IT fund.
Linda Daly.
Left.
The IT fund balance, so that when we get to the point where we're actually going to award a contract to a software vendor, which will be probably a 7-figure number, we will have, there's money available to do that because we've been saving to do that. This contract, though, is to hire a consultant to help us through the process of evaluating, first of all, identifying and evaluating all of our business processes that are tied to our ERP system. Then looking at those business processes, identifying where we can make efficiency improvements in our processes, writing then bid specifications so that we can procure this a holistic software solution.
Linda.
Joined.
And once we've gone through the procurement process, then this vendor will also assist us with negotiating the terms and conditions of the contract with the selected software vendor, and then finally implementation of that contract as we go through the procurement process, going through go live of the new software system. It is, even though it's a ways out, it is time critical in that our current primary legacy system, which is Pentimation, runs off of a Microsoft product called Silverlight. That has an end-of-life date for support in September of 21, and then the functional support for Pentimation itself goes away in June of 2022. We're right in the queue as to where we should be from a schedule standpoint of what we wanted to do. We might be a couple of months behind due to COVID, but we're still pretty much on schedule. We solicited RFPs for this consulting contract and created a cross-departmental executive steering committee that is chaired by myself. I'm the executive sponsor for this project. That's because it touches every part of the organization, and that's how important to the organization it is. I appreciate the involvement on the executive steering committee from both the county sheriff's office with Chief Deputy Gay, the treasurer's office with Treasurer Bierke herself, Mark from IT, and then Randy wearing his CFO hat. The group that I just outlined, including myself, looked at the 6 responses that we received to our RFP for this project and narrowed it to 2 finalists, that being Barry Dunn and Plant Moran. And then we evaluated all of them based on cost, general information, implementation consulting experiences, their ERP software implementation experience, and then their approach to the methodology for this project. And in all categories, Barry Dunn was the preferred and, in my opinion, superior vendor of the 6 responses that we received, including some contingencies. The value of this contract for the first phase is a little over $125,000. There is money in the current IT budget to cover that, so there is no budget amendment necessary. We'll talk about budget amendments several months from now when we procure the actual software itself. We'll keep the money saved for that in fund balance until we actually have a software vendor to award a contract to, and then when you award the software contract, we'll include an appropriation with it to tie it back to whatever that cost ends up being. This is going to be a very involved project for the entire organization. I strongly believe, and any member of the steering committee that's here tonight can speak to it as well, that Barry Dunn is the best capable and best qualified vendor to deliver these services to us. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? So Betty first.
Yeah, in regards to the cost, is there a cost for after installation? You know, after it's installed, is there a maintenance cost?
Sure.
separate
So
from
great
the
question,
RFP?
Ms. Duncan. For those of you that maybe didn't hear, Ms. Duncan's question was, is there an ongoing maintenance cost? For this contract, there is not. There will be a secondary cost for the implementation phase. When we get to awarding a contract for the software vendor itself, there is an upfront cost for the conversion process to the new software. And then just like every other third-party software that we currently use, there will be an annual maintenance cost tied to that. There is an annual maintenance cost for Pentimation and Community Plus and TimeForce right now. So we're used to paying an annual maintenance cost for the software. That's critically important because you want the support, you want the annual updates and upgrades and security patches to the software that's available to you. Too early to tell right now how much more the annual software maintenance will be for whatever software vendor we select and the package we select. But safe to say it will most likely be more than what we're currently paying for the legacy software platforms we have.
Any other questions, Ms. Duncan? Okay, Kate?
You answered one of my questions already. I was going to ask if this was just a one-for-one upgrade or if it was going to bring more efficiencies. Can you give some examples of the efficiencies that you hope to see with this?
So, sure thing, Ms. Pastucha. So, her question was, what are some potential examples of some efficiencies that we might see? So that really will be dependent upon the business processes that are tied back to. We have the potential to see efficiencies maybe in the accounts payable process, maybe in the purchasing business processes that we have. Maybe there's a way to be more efficient in terms of how we collect from the individual departments and offices budget request information and then how we extract that and review it and analyze it as we prepare the budget on an annual basis. Just off the top of my head, those are probably three very high-level examples. There's probably countless others that are out there as well.
So as part of what they're going to do with this proposal, are they going to do some like process flow analysis to see where things need to optimally,
Yeah,
connections?
short answer to your question is yes, as it relates to those systems that I talked about, whether it be everything within the finance or HR or fixed assets or timekeeping. So yes. Mr. Chairman, when committee members are done with any other questions, if there's any members of the executive steering committee that want to make any comments, I'd ask for the privilege of the floor to do so. But obviously, we'll get questions from the committee members out of the way first.
Sure.
What doesn't this include, I guess? You said you're combining 3 software systems into one. Are there other softwares that we're using that aren't gonna be included?
So the question is, what does this not include? This does not include anything related to the integrated civil criminal justice information system that we have, which runs on the criminal side from arrest through probation and everything in between. And obviously on the civil side, it tracks civil case filings as they work their way through the civil side of the court system. This does not include the recorder of deeds system that the county clerk is responsible for. It does not include the planning and zoning board of appeals, code enforcement, building permit software that planning and zoning implements. It does not include environmental health, which is at the health department, which would include well permits, septic permits, food licenses. It doesn't include the marriage license and civil union software that the county clerk's office implements. It does not include the computer-assisted mass appraisal system or the property evaluation system that the supervisor of assessments uses, and the tax cycle system that's tied back to it that then rolls through the county clerk and onto the county treasurer as we work through the entire tax cycle process. But what this software will have to do is it will have to talk through what are called integrations into all of those systems. And there's probably one or two that I'm forgetting, but that's a pretty comprehensive list of the major software systems that we currently are using across the organization.
I do have one more question.
Sure.
One question. You mentioned we have an antiquated system now. What system are we currently running under now?
So Ms. Duncan's question was, which system are we using right now? So it's called Pentimation.
Okay.
We also have Community Plus, which is kind of the banking side of the operation. And then our time system is called TimeForce. Pentimation was acquired as a third-party software by the board in 2003 or so, and then went live in 2004 or 2005. So it's reached this is a life cycle replacement. The current version that we have, there's no more upgrades available. We have to start from scratch. We've taken this software as far as we can take it.
Any other questions? Right.
Anybody on the steering committee want to say anything, or did I leave anything out? Okay. Cool. We're good, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Daly, do you have any questions? Linda?
I do not. Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, so we will call it for a vote then. All those in favor of passing the resolution, please state aye.
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, do we need to do roll call?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. All those opposed, nay? Okay, motion carries. Miscellaneous. Does anybody have anything for miscellaneous? No? Okay, we're adjourned.